The Jammu and Kashmir Assembly Speaker has revoked the suspension of two National Conference MLAs and have even asked them to return to the House. The suspension was revoked after National Conference MLAs, led by former Chief Minister Omar Abdullah, held protests outside the Assembly this morning. The party, in fact, was boycotting the House in protest against the suspension of the MLAs yesterday during the chaos that unfolded in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly over the beef ban in state. Now, this is the third day of chaos that unfolded and protests in Jammu and Kashmir Assembly over this particular matter. Let's get in a quick word from our correspondent Shuja ul Haq. Shuja, now that the Jammu and Kashmir has revoked the suspension of the two MLAs, what's the situation now? Have these MLAs stopped their protests and have they gone back to their home?
No, Avantika, the protest is still on. The National Conference MLAs are still sitting outside the House of Jammu and Kashmir Assembly, and they're basically demanding that their other two legislators who were suspended from the Legislative Council should also be reinstated, and then only they would think about going back to the House. This at the time when there's been so much of controversy that has already been seen in the J&K Assembly since last 2 days. Over issues like beef ban and also the demand of the adjournment motion by the National Conference for discussion on the government's position in the Supreme Court or the issue of Article 35A. These were the predominant issues that so far have been cropping up as contentious points. But as of now, it looks like the National Conference has made up his mind to stay outside the House till the time all of their members are reinstated or the suspension is revoked by both from the Legislative Council as well as the Legislative Assembly. Though the Assembly Speaker has done that already, but it remains to be seen whether the same thing will happen in the Legislative Council and whether that would pave way for National Conference MLAs to return to the House for its functioning.
Okay, so now that the National Conference has announced a boycott for the remaining Assembly and opposition leaders have been walking out, we've seen the kind of chaos and pandemonium that has unfolded in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly. What is going to be the PDP's next move? Any response from the PDP-BJP government there? Have they had the chance to speak to the National Conference, or are they remaining silent over this entire matter?
Well, Avantika, if you see the observation that we are making here is that the PDP-BJP combined is being very, very calm over all these contentious issues. One would have thought that there would be a lot of unrest among the members of the government as well, because these are very important and controversial issues. The beef ban is something that a lot of people were thinking that would give jitters to the PDP, but it seemed like they have made their strategy and planned it very well. They are very calm on all of these issues. In fact, the PDP members stood up and today demanded or requested the Speaker to go ahead and revoke the suspension of the MLAs of the National Conference. So it looks like the PDP and the BJP, who are the ruling two parties, have their strategy in place. They are very calm about it. They know what to do. They know how to counter the opposition's attack on them. But at the same time, it's also going to be very interesting if the opposition decides to come back to the House and then take the fight forward from there on.
All right, Shuja, just stay with us. I will come back to you to speak about another story. But for now, just thanks so much for giving us that update on the situation in Jammu and Kashmir.